So I got a clue as to another thing, the energy that I'm working through. And of course, that leads to something else, and all the connections and all the dynamics of being such a profound being. So, the memory is I didn't know all that much about him, except he came from upper middle class. He was being groomed to work in his father's construction business, and he was just so full of class, dating, carriage ride through Chinatown in Boston, followed by dinner. And here I am, just so full of insecurity. My father touching me inappropriately. I feel dirty. The last thing I feel is classy. Which worked in contrast to being told that I'm classy. So that must have been true. But I didn't see it and I didn't feel it. So, how do you get rid of a guy for his own good? From my perspective, it's for his own good. Well, I resort to the one thing I know that freaks people out. Shoot, lost a friend because I'm on the phone with her and I'm like, hey, does your kitchen look like that? And my friend, knowing I've never been to her house, is like, yeah, how do you know? I was seeing out her eyes. So a oneness thing, just, that's what came natural to me. Oh, human beings don't do that. That scares them. Okay, don't do that. The far hearing, I overheard my brother, other side of the house, plotting with my cousin, trying to convince my cousin to do something to me. And I come running around the house. I heard you, Derek. I'm going to tell on you. Oh my God, how cute I must have been. It's a little big tail. I'm like, I'm going to tell on you. Elephant ears. You know, they're like, oh, humans don't do that. Okay, I can't do that. Gotta blend in. So most of my life is survival mode. And I learned to repress my supernatural ability, my extrasensory perceptive abilities, okay? And nothing superhuman about it. Tribes, initiations. If you didn't go out, you didn't have your supernatural experience, you were not an adult member of the tribe. You had no voting rights, man. You didn't have your vision. So, we're gonna refrain from calling them superhuman. No. These are normal extrasensory perceptions beyond the physical experience. We're already 5D, we just gotta tune into it. So, I've only used, and empathy, same thing. I don't tune into people, I don't invade their space. It's not something I do, unless it's something I have to resort to. So my brother's sitting on me, arms pinned, and he's doing this, and he's insulting me, hurting me. And so just tune in. What's the one thing that's gonna hurt? Nobody wants you, blah, blah, blah. He runs crying off of me. How do you devastate a big guy? Tune into his biggest weakness, make him cry. Okay. So, it's the same thing with my ability to do math. It's, my mind thought a certain way. It knew you come up, imagine what you want, and then the pieces fall together to get there. But no, you gotta, the steps show your work, and so it's like an abuse to the intellect. And so there was a lot of resistance in me to get those math problems done, to show my reasoning, my reason, and my steps. How are you going to accomplish this in your life? You want to be there in 5 years. How are you going to do this? Oh, you want to do that for a business? Well, you've got this to do, that to do, and just the total abuse of the intellect. And so I wouldn't use it unless I was forced to. And of course, that comes with my angry monster. And I realized it was the same thing the last time I wanted to get out of a big situation. I mean, all doors were closed using the kindness of others, generosity. All of those things were absent from my environment. And so being in the stage where I'm going within, I had to tap into deep earth magic in order to do that. And that means I had to walk around and feel, where is this energy flow? Where are they controlling this? Where are they controlling that? How is this being accomplished? Why is this here? And then going and literally paving. I mean, we're talking generations of people doing the same thing, paving the same energy pattern, and I had to just pave my way out of there. And so I was using deep earth magic. I was in survival mode. It was get out of there or die. Natural disaster was coming. And sure enough, I got out and California is on fire again. Southern California, and I was down in that end. There's worse coming. So now I'm opening up to, and I'm not proposing to myself that we're gonna work, magic on others or be really, see, I associate it with manipulation. I'm not gonna manipulate the people in my environment in order to get what I need. And see, this is what I got to get out of my head. That's the point of this video, is that wounding that we create for ourselves when we're trying to survive in a culture that does not accept the existence of its own more expanded existence. So there are probably endless stories, especially with the generations that came after mine, of children who know this is not how it works. I know this is not how it works. But this is the way they do things. I'm going to get my butt beat. I'm going to get that failing grade. And they're getting frustrated because I bent myself. I came from generations. Everybody around me was bending themselves in some way. But we're slowly, gave love to the next generation. And the next, apparently there are several generations born after me. Like, we got XYZ going on here. Like, where'd y'all come from? Like, I don't remember you. I was in the woods. So they're at the point where, like, in China, nothing matters. They've got a whole generation that are in, like, homeless shelters with people taking care of them. We've got the old generations complaining because the younger generations, they don't want to work. They call it a sense of entitlement. I'm sorry, are you gonna argue with a tiger over his dinner? Are you gonna tell a deer, I'm sorry, you're eating the grass in the woods, you're entitled. You're entitled attitude, little rabbit. How dare you assume you can come out of your hole in the morning and eat that fucking grass? That clover, that's my clover. I planted that clover. You can't have that clover. You entitled little critter, you. And your dog is part of your family. That dog wakes up expecting that you're going to feed it, you're going to groom it, you're going to keep it safe, and you're going to exercise it, and you're going to socialize it, and you're raising an entitled little critter How dare you? Your furberry bee, you're raising it to be entitled. You're going to let that thing go out into the world and expect it to provide for itself, or you're going to let that thing out in the world and it's going to expect the rest of us to take care of it. You'll do it for a dog, but you won't do it for another fucking human being? Fuck you. Apparently, I have a lot of anger with this. So, there's a lot of anger hooked up with my magical person. I knew that's what, I knew I had a dark shadow following me. But this is what it all is. It's all the being, whether we're forcing ourselves or we have people trying to force us into denying our natural existence. And that's where all the rage around us is coming from. And a lot of it, too, I had picked up on years and years ago, was like Jesus came in reporting to be the Savior, but he's only here looking for the 144,000 stuck in the reincarnation trap. But they taught all their children that they were special and they had to follow these rules. And so in comes this figure. There's not just 144,000 Jewish people when he, you know what I mean? They bred, and their children all have this expectation of this kingdom, this new Jerusalem coming on earth. And this man's talking about a heavenly kingdom. And of course the ones who aren't a part of his 144,000 brotherhood that he's coming to save, you know, the rest, they're dogs. I came to save you, brother. No, I'm sorry. That's a half-breed you got as a child. That child ain't coming. But I promised my child. And the child's like, whoa, hey, wait, you know, no, I'm one of them. Where's our freaking kingdom? And so people, especially their intuitive and empathic aspect, picks up on, this is somebody who's in tune with everything that we've hoped for, everything that we've promised, and they're cringing. They're not delivering. And so, you know, you're a highly intuitive person. You can't help. Your energies are healing. People tell you things that they don't tell other people. They know they're safe with you. They feel a sense of safety around you because you won't hurt them. And we're hiding ourselves because we don't want to interfere. Oh, dear God, just like the Galactic Federation. Oh. We don't want to interfere. We've got our own personal restrictions and rules and limitations. And so they get mad. We are not delivering on what our presence is promising. And so they just start kicking at us, you know? That's why you get bullying in schools. Like, you're different. Why aren't you standing up for us? Why aren't you doing this? They sense a promise in us. And so we don't deliver, and they get pissed off, and they beat up on us. So that's what I mean, is like this, just this one remembrance of using my extrasensory perceptions and my intuitiveness. I played in the forest, so the forest I can literally disappear into. So if I go back, the memory that triggered it was that guy being raised to be a part of his father's construction business. And how do you get rid of him? Well, you take him to your favorite spot in the woods, and it's just this beautiful place with a big waterfall and a murder of crows flying around, and you melt in and you dart around and you laugh and giggle from all different angles, and the crows are going over his head, and my voice is being thrown in amongst the crows. And so of course the dude left. Spooky woods, man, spooky bitch, he gone. It worked. I went home. Oh good, that guy won't be bothering me again. I don't have to feel guilt. I don't have to feel dirty next to him. That's another thing. When we're coming into our own, we're self accepting, and we're feeling really clean, there are people that will want to push us away because the way they feel dirty, lacking class, is just magnified when they look at us because they're seeing what they believe they cannot be. And so we can't change that for them. And we may not be the people that can build up their self-esteem. I know I've been helpful to people who are otherwise like that. This one guy, when I was selling soda and chips, he came and he'd sit on the outside of the bench. I said, "Hey, you want to come sit, on the bench?" He's like, "No, no, no, no." So I give him a chair. He'd go sit on the other side because it was too cozy under my trees. It was just too cozy. So providing a cozy environment is always going to draw people, and it'll keep them away. Isn't always a bad thing. But then there came a time where I was helping do coffee, and a whole carafe, one of those little carafes that you pump and the coffee comes out. He knocked it over, it smashed, destroyed it. And these people want to buy drugs with the money they're making off of this coffee. They don't want to replace. Okay, they can't afford to replace that carafe because it would cut into their drug money. And so he was expecting like a storm coming at him when that happened. You could just see him freeze. And I was just like, "Hey, dude, don't worry about it. Go. I'll take care of it." Because it's easier for me to clean up a mess than deal with everybody's anger over a mess, They may not think they're taking it out on me, but they're projecting it. They got to project it at something, and I'm standing in front of them, so they're telling me the story, and so I'm getting the brunt of their anger, which I didn't deserve. And so I was able to help him in that way, but a more close relationship never would have, the dude would never have let me near him. So that's normal, that's natural, and I can accept that. I've learned to accept that. So again, that's all triggering. Understanding all this is triggered by those experiences when I was young, and I would use my knowledge and I didn't even have knowledge, so I would just say my awareness gave me the knowledge and how to do something one time. So I don't have the knowledge to establish a practice in deep earth magic. I've only tapped into it while in survival mode. And so I have to let the magic flow through me now in a joyful mode, in a thriving mode. But in order to do that, I've got to release all the pain and all of that comes with using my extrasensory perceptions and my ability to tune in awareness-wise of more than just mundane life and mundane relationshiping. And I'm probably not the only one out there who's had this experience. How many people are diagnosed with autism and are just using their intellect to shelter their emotional self? You can't blame them. But yeah, lots of realizations just come from remembering one thing. Like, oh, that's why my magic's not working when I just want to usually casually, softly, to just bippity boppity boo, a few things. I'm just using the law of attraction. That's allowed. Oh. So yeah, the wonderful world of, I feel like I'm gonna get moving in my life. And it's like, whoop. We just gotta take care of this little mess in here, honey. Just this little one. But I got it done. This is you haven't got it done. Yeah, this is just, this stuff's just, we're just cleaning house now that you've gotten it done. That's what's coming up through, like, my shoulders. It's like, we're just cleaning up the house, because yes, you did, you got it done. We just gotta take down, the dark out curtains. Those gotta come out of the rooms, so you can let the sunlight in. That's all that's happening. Those are just dark out curtains. And I don't feel like I'm lying to myself about that one bit. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, that was one of my stumbling points is, I don't think I'm beautiful, so I can't use an affirmation. I am beautiful. I'm loved by God. I'm a divine being. And inside, the little peanut gallery's going, no, you are, blah, blah. So you can't lie. You just gotta say, well, people don't run screaming from me, so I can't be that ugly, and start from there. So let's just all water. It's just gotta wash away, wear away at all those little walls and boundaries and disbelief. It's fun. And it's funny too, because the next thing that comes into my head is like, now I can't even imagine what's, in the future for me. It's like I had this one picture and it wasn't detailed. It's just an idea, a concept of how a feeling that I could embody, that I could live, that I could be, what it would look like. And now, like, oh, this was in there, that was in there. Oh my goodness. Well, there may be more to that picture. And I've spent my life seeing, this is how they think things are going to happen. These are the steps I'm supposed to take. There are tons of how-to videos out there. But knowing that way's not going to work for me, because the people following that mode know that there's something different about me. And so resisting my own awareness of how I can get things done, and resisting the awareness that everything else, as like I've got two walls that I'm working through. Like, wait, like when they turn one hand this way and the other one. Resistance training again. I'm resisting that, and I'm resisting this. It's like, my life is supposed to happen in between here. Yeah, that's where it's supposed to happen, right here, between these two walls, We got the outer perimeter friends, we got the inner perimeter friends, and we got the military running in between the two, ready to shoot anything that could cross. That takes a lot of energy. That's a lot of fencing, man. That's a lot of personnel. I think I could probably let that shit go. Yeah. Shoot, if the world's gonna have to accept aliens, it's just gonna have to accept me. I'm more comfortable to look at. You see people running suddenly, like, who never had any belief in anything, running to shamans ready for their freakiness. Because them goddamn aliens are coming, and they just don't look right, man. Get ready. anyhow, witches, warlocks, druids, shamans. Like, what that boat man? He's an alien too. Okay, I'm cracking myself up. I don't know if everybody finds that funny, but I sure do for some reason. Oh my god. Oh, and right now I'm just so frustrated with my circumstances. Like, that's why I'm coughing so much. I know my physical health is just going to shit. Like, can't go out walking. There's a road there. It's windy. It's slippery, covered in ice. Can't go walking in the woods. It's somebody's backyard, no matter which direction. If not, it's a highway. Like, so I'm in a camper, and it's only 2 steps to go do anything, literally. Unless I want to shit, that takes more steps. Yay, exercise for the day. I get to stretch my legs a whole 3 steps. And you don't do exercises in a camper because it's on wheels and shocks, so the whole thing bounces. Everything can come down. Oh my god. The boxes we get ourselves into. Did you? Like, getting ready for this big Arctic freeze that was supposed to be incoming. It was so nice and warm before. We had rain. And then it started to get cold, so that made the wet ground ice. And we had nice soft snow falling down from the sky, looking so beautiful in the night. But that's just still on top of ice that packs down and creates ice skates. So I've been walking the dog just little baby steps, as few baby steps as possible. Like, okay. And my tailbone cannot take any more damage. Oh my god. So yes, these are the wonderful gifts that repressing ourselves and weaponizing our gifts give us. All kinds of mad skills of draining our energy with perimeters. This is me having gotten rid of them. Yep, I got it done. I got rid of all that resistance in me. Yep. Laughter's a good way to do that.